Welcome back, Tasties and Tastettes, to the former number 2 wrestling podcast in all of Nicaragua. My name is Lenny. He's bad like the Barbie. His name is Dante.
Dude, you gotta lay off of TikTok.
Have you ever been to the country on your shirt?
No, I want to go.
Okay, I was just wondering when I saw it. It looks like a gift shop t-shirt.
No.
It is not? You. All right, well, we have a lot to talk about here and all of nothing at the same time, to be quite frank with you. There's been a couple movies come out. It's been a few weeks, right, Dante? 2 weeks? Dose weeks? We actually came out with a podcast last week, but it wasn't really like a ton of... We didn't have a new movie to review, which is kind of an oddity for us.
And, in our typical fashion, technical difficulties.
Yeah, you did delete the whole half of a podcast. Or never recorded it, one of the two.
Yeah.
Just actually, when you say it out loud, like a crazy premise. But yeah, so we're gonna start with some movies that we have watched, or a movie we've watched, and a movie that I haven't watched. Or have I guess is the question.
Ooh,
leave him thinking. Which movie do you want to start with, Dante? What would you prefer?
I mean, you seem to really want to get bad like a Barbie, so let's go.
Okay, all right. So you had some not so nice things to say about women after seeing this movie, right?
Don't put words in my mouth. I did not say anything negative about women.
Oh, maybe it's just your energy. You weren't very Alan post seeing this movie.
Alan wanted out just as bad as I did.
No, he wanted out from like the Ken world. He loved the Barbies. Alan was great to the ladies.
I mean...
Alan's what like the ladies want. Well, Alan's like the friend zone and the embodiment of the friend zone.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say.
Like that's what like I read something today about Alan, and it was like, I loved Alan's character, but like it wasn't until after I finished the movie that I really thought about it. And he's like, the few men in the world who like appreciate women and like unconditionally care about them. And I was like, well, he's just the friend zone Barbie, or Ken rather. Like that's all he is. But yeah, so you take back all those things you said.
I mean, I didn't say anything bad.
Okay. So you're saying you liked this movie?
I'm saying I think it was a good movie. It just wasn't for me. So my level of enjoyment wasn't high.
Do you think you liked did you go into it with high expectations and leave disappointed, or did you go out with low expectations and come out impressed?
I think my expectations were somewhere in the middle, and it kind of landed about where I expected. I will say I did think I was going to get a lot more laughs out of it. I got some chuckles here and there, but...
Was it the thing about that they were going to like beat you off?
That was definitely
that made you
funny.
laugh?
That part was funny.
I could tell you would giggle at that part.
Yeah.
They just kept saying, beat you off. I'm going to beat you off. You're still getting giggles out of it,
dude. Hey, man, I'm never going to grow up. I got the mind of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I think that was like a funny part. I definitely don't think I personally like laughed out loud at anything. There was
like I said, like it got chuckles out of me, but that was about it.
There was a weird like joke from about like the Snyder cut towards the beginning that I was like, that seemed like a stray. Didn't seem very necessary. Yeah, but it wasn't like the funniest movie in the world. But on the other hand, I definitely felt in the first hour. I walked in and was like, God, I hate this for about 30 minutes.
It was very cringy until they left. What was it, Barbie Land?
Yeah, I think you're right. I actually thought it was cringy until they were coming back to Barbie Land. And the part that I actually wrote down, like, kind of changed the movie's tone for me was when America Ferrera, I believe is her name, Ugly Betty is what you call her, Dante.
Betty La Fea?
When she... What did you say?
Betty La Fea.
Oh, that's what they called it. On
Ugly Betty was
UPN
originally
Spanish.
A Spanish, like, novella, and then they adapted a English version.
And you liked both versions, or which
I
version
actually
do you like more?
never watched either. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of the original one, but
yeah. That was a helpful fact. Thanks, dude. Yeah, so
Was
Ugly
it helpful?
Betty, she gives the speech in the back of the minivan or whatever. Not the minivan, it was like a work van maybe.
It was like a whole commercial for this. What was it? A Kia SUV?
Well, no, but that's like when they're driving in the real world. I'm talking about like when Barbie's all, and I guess spoilers. Like, is this spoilers? Have we spoiled anything yet?
I mean,
Alan.
nothing major.
Alan's in the friend zone. Sorry, spoiled that for you.
Y'all knew that.
He is. You know he's trying to bang stereotypical Barbie.
Yeah,
For sure. Why else would you like be trying to follow him around everywhere, right? But yeah, it's when stereotypical Barbie is all depressed and whatnot, and it's the mom who gives like the impassioned speech about like what Barbie did for women. And while that speech was not for me whatsoever, I did think it was quite well done. And from that moment on, I was pretty invested in the movie.
Okay.
So I came away surprisingly positive on this entire thing. Seemingly more positive than you based on all the stuff you said about women before we started the podcast.
All right, you know what? You keep alluding to this. I'm just going to say it right away. Like, what I told Lenny was I felt like this movie was very aggressively feminist. I never said anything negative about it. All I said was that.
Didn't you say something about the Swifties too?
I said nothing about the Swifties. Why are you trying to get a whole culture against me? That's a deep set over
What'd you
there.
say about the B Hive?
Yo, bro. Oh, man. And B's local today, so
Is she?
we got to be careful. Yeah, she's playing at Gillette.
Today?
Yeah.
You going?
Nah. Can't afford those tickets.
Are they expensive? Can you look up prices real quick? Maybe we should go.
After recording, we're going to be at the B Pod. Yeah. B Pod concert. You know what I meant.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. Could you actually give us your top 3 Beyonce songs, not Destiny's Child?
Oh, wow. Okay. Crazy in Love.
Okay. Could you just like give us a line?
That was the one where Jay-Z hit him
No,
with
you've got to just say the line. Don't give us preface, dude.
03, Bonnie and Clyde, Hove and B, Holla.
Okay. Song number 2.
Damn. Now I'm thinking, was it Crazy in Love or Dangerously in Love? That's another one, right?
I have no idea. I have one more song that I'm waiting for you to say.
What do you want me to say?
Brother, I think it's like the most obvious song of any of them. I have 2 songs by her actually that we could go if you want to round out your.
Would this
3.
song be a classic or one of her more recent ones?
Yeah, it's a classic, dude. I don't know a recent song. I haven't heard anything since before Lemonade. Once she started hating men so much, I was out.
Lemonade's another good one. Damn. Now all the ones I'm thinking of are Destiny's Child, right? Because like, I don't think you're ready for this jelly. That's Destiny's Child, isn't it?
No, I think that
Bootylicious.
that's Beyonce's Bootylicious.
Okay.
Wait, did you find out the ticket prices?
Looking right now.
If this was the mid 2000s, Beyonce would have been in Barbie. Do you agree?
Probably. Jesus Christ. Yeah, nah, I wouldn't pay for these tickets. Not as bad as Taylor Swift tickets, though.
How much? It is Destiny's Child's Bootylicious.
Bro, I put it all the way in the back, like way out, and it's still the cheap. Yeah, I did. And the cheapest ticket is still $284.
And it's at Gillette.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going, dude.
We're going, yeah?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Oh, damn. Hold on. The price jump ain't that bad. Floor seats, you're only like $500 to $700.
Oh, so you wanna go.
Yo, they literally have a section called the B Hive. Like right in front of the stage. Those are $1,800.
We would get our asses whooped.
Yo, $1,800 and $2,000 to sit in the B Hive. You try to sit in the B Hive, bro? I'll take out a loan.
I don't think I want to sit in the B Hive. No offense to them. I just don't think. I think we'd get sussed out real quick.
Oh,
Unless
man.
does she do? So I saw Justin Timberlake in the year like 2005. Well, it was 2008. Sorry, that's wrong. 2008. And he played like several NSYNC songs. So if you told me that Beyonce was going to have a set of like 3, like if I was going to hear Jumpin' Jumpin' or Bills, Bills, Bills.
I knew it was going to be Bills, Bills, Bills.
Yeah, I would be there in a heartbeat. You couldn't tell me to like you couldn't keep me out of the
Oh,
movie.
then you'd be in the Beehive.
Yeah.
Oh, bet.
Yeah. If Destiny's Child did another concert, like you know how nowadays like all like these old musicians are doing concerts again. If you gave me like Destiny's Child, I had one for a second and I lost it. Maybe Mario,
Oh, okay.
right? Destiny's Child, Mario. What's her name, dude? Girl, single artist.
That really narrows it down.
I know.
Cassie?
Cassie? Is that right?
Me and You?
'Cause it's me and you. Oh.
Yeah, that song. That's Cassie.
Okay, that's pretty damn good.
Okay.
She doesn't have much more outside of that, though, right?
I think there was one other song that she had. It's not coming to mind right now. Oh, Long Way to Go. I think that's Cassie. But you got a long way to go. I don't know the rest of it.
And we talked about this like 2 weeks ago, and they put like Aim On to do that one song.
Aim On.
Yeah, I played it for you. Like, fuck you. I don't want you back.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe they just have him do like a one-off song ahead of time.
Huh.
Yeah, I would go to Destiny's Child, and it would be I'd pay like a good amount of money to do it just to say I was there. That's a concert I feel like you'd have to say you're there for.
I think we need like some big conglomerate to do like a throwback tour.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you look it up, like I just saw a video of Ludacris performing yesterday in like those giant shoes, and this guy.
Oh, that was
said,
like a few months back, yeah.
But there was a guy who put a comment up. Then I didn't see it a couple of months back, but he put a comment up that I saw yesterday, and it was like, "This is like when my son is putting my shoes on out of my closet." That was really funny.
It's ill that he still has those sneakers. Those were the sneakers from the Get Back video.
That's what the song was. Yeah. Okay. When I was watching it, dude, I knew the words, but I was like, which song is this? Because they don't actually get to the part where, in the video I saw, where he says, like...
I was going to say, because like the hook is literally just all Get Back.
Yeah, no, he didn't get to that part. It was like a 10-second clip. So it was just like one bar. All right, you never gave your top 3 Beyonce songs, but we can pivot to top 3 Ludacris songs if we could. This would just be a music podcast. How about that, people?
Oh, God. All right. Let's see. Move Bitch is a classic. Yeah. Yep.
You're a person who drives aggressively.
Not anymore. I've told you, I've been reformed.
Not what, for a week?
Nah, for like 2.5 months now.
No, dude.
Yeah.
You got like 2 tickets in a fucking 24-hour period.
It wasn't a 24-hour period. It was a 1 week period, which is still pretty bad.
All right, but when you drive like 115 or now 105 because you slowed down a bit, do you...
Yo, like, bro, I don't go over 85 no more.
That's such bullshit, and I know that's bullshit. You can't fucking lie to me because I don't drive fast, and I hit 90 yesterday.
Nah, see, I haven't hit 90 in a while. I don't even remember what the number 9 digit looks like on my dash.
Is that because you don't have to drive on the highway that much anymore?
Nah, I drive on the highway all the time.
Okay, like how long?
I don't know, like distances.
All
like
right.
Last week I went to nah, it wasn't last week. It was a week before, but I went to Plymouth. I went to Providence. I went to Woonsocket. Like, I've driven on the highway.
And you didn't go over 85?
Didn't go over 85, no.
So you're telling me if we reenacted the movie Speed, but we made it so the car couldn't go above 85, or if it went above 85, it would blow up.
Bro,
you would never blow up.
I'm Gucci, bro. Just take the data out of my car from the past, like, month and a half, 2 months, and... I'll be alive, I promise.
Do you just only drive in the middle lane now so you don't go over?
I mean, I pop over to the left lane to pass, but yeah, I'm mostly in the middle lane nowadays.
That's how you're keeping yourself in control. How long do you think that'll last? Because you're addicted to speed.
It'll probably last about as long as until I get a transmission for the other car. And then once that comes out, I might get a little peppy on the road again.
But that car's a piece of shit.
That's what you think. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Well, if I was judging by a cover, I'd be like, dude, you got that at a thrift store for free.
Damn. All right.
Right. Is right.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep letting you jab at me. I'm just going to move along. All right.
I heard your feelings about the car.
What are your top 3 Ludacris songs?
You took me off of Barbie, Dante. We need to get back on track.
How did we get this far off of Barbie?
Well, again, it wasn't really for us, I think, is how this happened.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's one note I had?
Okay.
Oh, never mind. This isn't going to appeal to you. You never watched the Cobra Kai series.
No, but just say it. Maybe I'll get it.
So, when we get badass Ken when he comes back and he wants to, push the patriarchy.
Yeah. You were all about that.
He gave me Johnny Lawrence vibes.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, he had like the head wrap, the floofy coat. I was just like, yo, it's my boy William Zabka.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what I was thinking too, actually. Weirdly.
Oh, seriously? No, you weren't. Fuck you.
Which Ken was your favorite?
I think it was Badass Ken. I don't know what the name of it was. The mink coat with the cutoffs.
But it was Gosling's Ken is your favorite Ken.
Oh, 100%.
I think
You're going to tell me it wasn't?
I'm trying to rack my brain for which Ken I liked the most now.
Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I think some of the secondary Kens are pretty cool.
Get the fuck out of here. You liked Asian Ken, huh?
Well, I am kind of sitting here like Shang-Chi was kind of fire.
Yo, nah. It was all about Gosling Ken.
I'm trying to think of like the secondary Ken. So, I had mentioned this before the movie came out, but there was like 4 people from the movie Sex Ed in this movie. Maybe there's 3.
Okay.
It was the dude who like tells Will Ferrell that that the Barbie and Ken are in the real world.
Oh, like the dude that went up from his office to the board meeting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's one of them from Sex Ed. The girl Emma McKay. The problem is with them all being Kens and Barbies, it makes it hard to tell you which ones they are.
It was Ken.
Yeah.
Yo, the other thing that bothered me, I expected a lot more of Will Ferrell in the movie.
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell, yeah.
I mean, it was probably just like, it's costly to use him. He has his own shit going on.
Fair enough.
And
but I also thought he would be our big bad in this.
It's kind of like when he was in The Office and people thought he would it's like Will Ferrell's going to be in The Office. And then like he's in like 2 or 3 episodes,
No.
I feel like he just kind of does that. Like he knows people, or people ask him to like do smaller parts and he makes it work, but like doesn't want to overpower. Like if Will Ferrell's in that movie for too long, it turns into a Will Ferrell movie, right?
I think I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah, but again, who's the movie for?
I get it. It's not for me.
So like putting Will Ferrell in it makes it a Will Ferrell movie if you go like too overboard.
No.
Margot Robbie. I saw an interesting thing on Screen Rant today, and it was asking had you seen the rumors, or do you, actually, let me ask you this first. Do you think the success of this movie, plus like she's had a decent film career as it is, she was already pretty popular.
Yeah.
Does this movie make her a bona fide like blockbuster actress for the next couple of years? And could you envision her capitalizing and going into like, taking over like maybe reboots of a major franchise?
I think that all depends on what her next films are going to be. Because, yeah, sure, she could fall into that category, this being a blockbuster movie. Like, it broke records in the box office, didn't it?
Well, who's the guy who pulls up the numbers? It did, yes.
I mean, it had a nasty opening weekend. It was 162 mil domestically.
I believe if you look it up, it's actually had a record-setting low for a second week drop-off as well. It only dropped like 44%.
42%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You said it set records, right? Do you have numbers?
I mean, like I said, it was 162 mil opening weekend, and then the following weekend they still put up 93 mil.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, 92 mil is like in their second week, and that's more than all but 2 to 3 movies have made in week 1 all year.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, it's like Mario, Guardians, Little Mermaid, maybe broke that, right?
Let's see. Let me see if I can get a list here.
I'm pretty sure those 3 did it. And maybe I'm just missing one, if anything.
Sorry. Why is it not giving it to me?
This is the way it goes, people. I know this is nothing new for you. That takes us a while to like look stuff up that's probably on a website that's directly up on the screen already.
Bro, it's just give me a second, all right?
You could just pull up the year's worth of box office and just scroll through and see the movies that have done over 100 million.
Bro, I don't appreciate your tone you're taking right now. And so
You're not seeing all the hand gestures and faces I'm making.
I mean,
dude,
I'm
so-
hearing you dropping your fist on the table, and it's enough for me.
No,
all
it's
right?
my hand on the sides, dude.
Oh,
Chill
okay.
out.
I mean, top grossing movies for the year. I got that list, and that probably
But
translates.
is that total sum?
That is total sum.
So I already have pretty much said them.
You missed Spider-Verse.
That didn't do over 100 million first week.
Did it not?
And that's where I think this is like. I
Yeah,
don't
it did.
think it did. Did it?
It did 120.
Ugh.
I know how you feel about it, but yeah, it did over 100 mil.
Undo. Okay, so I did say I was probably missing one.
Avatar?
That was last year.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Me, you, and D
shit,
had
it
this
released in
conversation
December. Okay.
like weeks ago, and I went back and watched it, and I was like so vindicated to know that I was on the right side of that. Because you guys were like dead set on it coming out this year, and I was like, it did not.
December. It was close enough.
That was last year, though, wasn't it? It's a
Yeah,
Christmas
it was,
movie.
it was.
Unfair advantage.
Damn, Ant-Man did over 100 mil too.
Week 1?
Yeah,
How much? 101?
104.
That doesn't make any sense because that was a huge flop.
Bro. Unless Box Office Mojo's lying to me, I'll pull it back up. Quantum Mania domestic weekend, February 17th to 19th, 106.
Damn. People were so disappointed leaving that. That's harsh.
It's a lot of disappointment, huh?
All right, so my actual question, though, back to that, right? Margot Robbie, do you think this movie has launched her into the stratosphere of being like the next big... She already has a very successful career prior to this.
But I think this definitely steps it up.
To where like they could use her for franchises. For instance, a rumor being for a while now that she was going to be maybe taking over the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise as a female lead. Do you think she could carry a movie like that?
I don't think it's a wise move with the success she's got coming off of Barbie to go into a reboot that might flop. I think the problem with trying to reboot something like Pirates of the Caribbean, are they doing a series or another movie?
No, I believe it'd be a movie.
I think the problem with that is like people love Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean. To make an adaptation of that, I feel like you're fighting against yourself before you even start.
But why does it like it doesn't have to be writing him out? Like it could just be adding to.
But he's not going to be in it. So like,
but like, what if they were able to make him be in it later on? Like, what if 4 years from now, after they've brought it back and it's done moderately okay? Right.
See, that's the best we can hope for is moderately okay. That's my problem.
But like that's like sometimes you have to do a loss leader because then the next movie, when you tease Johnny Depp coming back, makes a ton of money.
Yeah. I don't think that does big things for Margot Robbie though.
But like, what would be? What
the
is
problem
big
is there's
things,
no more original ideas, right?
Well,
So,
that's what I was gonna say. Like what is like? She could do a Barbie too, right? Like that's gonna make a ton of money. But like,
I'm not asking for that.
What is the next idea that's like down the pipe that like she could do to be considered that like, you know, to make that continue to grow? I think like going with a Pirates type franchise to a point gives you already have some equity built into the name. Obviously, they're not as popular as they were in the year 2004 or whatever, you know, like the first years it was out. Obviously, like the Johnny Depp stuff has happened, but I don't think people would begrudge her necessarily for it, especially if it's not rebooting the whole thing and trying to tell, like, what if it was just the same universe but different stories with Margot Robbie? Like, I think there's a way to make that good.
Yeah.
She's shown, like, good comedic timing, but I also think she's shown that she can do the physical stuff with Harley Quinn. So,
I mean, you're making fair points.
also just, like, looking at some of the things she's done, right? Like, Barbie obviously being the biggest financial hit, but like I said, Harley Quinn is in there. She was not nominated for an Oscar for I, Tonya, and then like things like Wolf of Wall Street also in her background. Like she's attached to not only like strong acting performances, but also now commercial success. So I do think she's going to be around for quite some time. She also just has like that. She has the look of a Hollywood leading lady, of course, too.
Yeah.
You know, they're like. Could you look up like the most attractive woman in Hollywood? Like, you know, they always do those like top 100 lists.
What is this, like Miss America?
No. Maxim, top 100. Maxim still a magazine?
Probably.
Double check that too. Maybe we get on the subscription list. we start doing monthly reviews of Maxim magazine.
Just for the top 100?
Well, I think they only do those like once a year.
I'm sorry, Hot 100.
Oh, there we go.
That's what it is.
All right, do you have the Maxim Hot 100 up?
I do.
Let's run
Only
through a
because I
couple
just
of those.
Googled that, but I don't think that translates to Hollywood.
We got like 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on this clip here. Let's run through a few of the top Hot 100.
I love how I go to this list, and the first section, Hollywood Heartbreakers, Margot Robbie.
Well, I mean, like, again, she is what you would imagine, like, a Hollywood, like, leading lady, very attractive woman, like, to be like, right? Who's got a more classic leading lady, like, feel to her right now as far as just physical aesthetics, like, you know, being the masculine men that we are, and misogynist that you are. Like, what is the features that are, like, you know, who else out there is, like, as leading lady as Margot Robbie now?
I mean, right now, she's all that's coming to mind. I'm not great with names.
Who else is on the list there? You have a list. You have a
Bro,
Hot 100
and I'm scrolling through it, and I don't recognize most of them. Right after them, we got Ana de Armas.
Yeah, that might be another one. But she's, like, I don't want to be too crass here, but, like, Margot Robbie could play, like, a sweet girl in a movie, but she can also do, like, Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
Ana de Armas, no offense to the woman.
She doesn't have the same versatility.
I don't think she's as versatile. I think she can play the fuck out of a girl who wants to fuck, though.
Okay. She's got the Hollywood fuck me eyes.
Have you ever seen, like, I've never seen the whole movie, but have you ever seen, like, a clip of that movie Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves?
No, I haven't.
All right, I can't be too crass. So I'll just tell people, like, it would be on Mr. Skins. It wouldn't be, you know, it's not a PC movie. I think it's actually rated NC-17 because of how graphic it is.
Oh, damn.
And it's very difficult to get an NC-17 rating.
Yeah. Just rifle off a few more. I don't know these people, but I'll list them for you.
Do they have pictures?
Yeah, Samara Weaving.
Oh, yeah, she's great, too. She was, that's a movie for, like, homework at some point that we can do. She's like a horror leading lady nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very good.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, dude, so TikTok issue I have. Sabrina Carpenter at the end of her song Nonsense, she, like, closes all of her concerts out with it, and she always says something slutty as the outro to that song on her live performances. And for some reason, I just ended up in a TikTok like rabbit hole of just all the slutty things she said at the end of that song. Continue.
She's not on this list so far yet. I haven't scrolled all the way, but I'm gonna throw in Sydney Sweeney.
Ooh, big old naturals.
Sheesh. Yeah, that roped me into Euphoria real quick.
Oh, R.I.P. to that kid from that show.
Yeah, I just heard yesterday.
Everybody did.
All right, well, I didn't know if I was with the rest of the world.
He's not.
Oh, you motherfucker. Too soon. Literally too soon.
I want to put that on you first. I want to apologize to the people out there. But that was Dante's fault that I said that.
Probably. He's just always trying to get canceled, you know?
It's probably too soon.
Probably no. It was literally yesterday. It is too soon.
Yeah, it was dark. Like I still told you off camera, I just had this image in my head of you said that. Everybody else in the world is out there thinking it as they heard you say it. And I'm like, I just got to say what everybody's thinking, right? So I am a pro Barbie fan. I'll quickly, we've spent enough time, but not any time on it all at the same time. You want my ranking?
Sure.
So we are up to 20 movies.
Your ranking is going to piss me off. I know it.
We're up to 20 movies year to date. Or I am, rather, because you've seen other movies that I haven't now. Or have. We'll never know.
We'll flesh that out.
I've also seen movies you haven't seen. I have this ranked 12th.
Okay.
Fair?
I can't remember your whole list right now, so hold on. How many stars did you give it? Let's start there.
I gave this 3 stars.
I suppose that's fair. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad movie. It wasn't a movie for me.
Do you want to hear what it's ranked behind or above?
I want to hear what it's above.
Above. So in 13th, I have No Hard Feelings. 14th, The Flash. 15th Dungeons and Dragons, 16th Shazam, 17th Creed 3. Well, people that might be my most controversial one. I always look at that and I'm like, am I wrong on that one? I like it should
when you see what you have ahead of it.
It's really just the Flash that I feel like I have too high. And then Creed 3, it's like it's really well acted. I just genuinely hated the last fight quite a bit.
Okay.
Quantum Mania, Kandahar, and you know the last one.
Yeah. Your favorite movie.
I think by definition, this is my least favorite movie ever, maybe. But yeah, and it's fair to have it in front of all of those, correct?
It is fair. I never saw No Hard Feelings, but I feel like you gave that a pretty good review.
And I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
So, both 3-star movies. I just think Barbie, because it has, I mean, they actually both, I think, have like the thing with me with like a no hard feeling for really. Obviously, on its surface, it's R-rated. It's just an R-rated comedy. It's not a rom-com, but it's like rom-com-esque to a point, you know. And I just don't know if like the message resonated enough. Like with me with it. Like I like leaving my rom-com movies feeling a little like sentimental.
Okay.
And I don't know that one left me feeling that way. And
didn't leave you in your feels.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was funny, but it was like kind of like Barbie in the sense that nothing was like. There was maybe 1 or 2 scenes that I like genuinely laughed out loud. And like the other thing, going back to Barbie really quickly, it's not just that I didn't laugh, but I was in a sold out theater, as I imagine you were, right?
Yeah, it was pretty full.
And I have the benefit of being there by myself, which was weird in a way, but it's me in the back corner of this movie theater with a sold out theater full of like the target demographic that I am not. And there were people laughing, but it was never like knee slapping laughs or like belly laughs.
I'll tell you, like with most family movies, you get like the innuendos, like we talk about like the whole beat you off thing, right?
Yeah.
And like for me, when that scene came on, I actually thought it was funnier because you could hear like all these parents are there with their kids and they're like struggling to figure out if they should laugh at that or not in front of their kids. And so you get a lot of like awkward chuckles, like shit, that was funny, but like I don't know if I should laugh, and that's what made it funnier for me.
What time did you see the movie?
I want to say it was like 3 p.m.
So I went to like a 9:30 showing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No, there was a lot of kids in the theater I went in.
Yeah, I did not have. I had actually weirdly like a newborn child in that movie theater.
What the hell?
I've
never seen a small baby in a movie theater.
This was like a very small baby making like goo goo gaga noises like 5 rows up from me. At one point during the movie, I was like, "What is that noise?" And then I saw this woman get up because she wanted to beat the rush of people leaving the theater. So she was like the first one to walk out before it actually ended. And I was like, "Oh, that's the child. That's the noise that I was trying to figure out was coming from the front of the theater." But yeah, I would say the general audience that I was with was of the age of like 17 and up, probably. So it was mostly like older people, like teen to older people. And yeah, like I said, like it felt like everybody was enjoying what they were watching, but I didn't have a ton of people that were like super like laughing about it,
Yeah.
But I do think the thing that puts it above No Hard Feelings, getting back to what I was talking about, is just that I did, even though the message isn't for me, like I said, after like we get this impassioned speech from America Ferrera.
Yeah, you said American. I was gonna let it ride.
I was just like, that sounded wrong. But yeah, after that speech, and I think like the message really lands. I think it was pretty powerful in that regard, and I can appreciate the way like it made like women feel. I think that's pretty cool. So I think that it should be ranked a little higher for that. But I can't say that it was a better movie than some of the stuff above it. And the reason I paused because I'm like, well, I could say it's probably a better movie than Scream 6, but that's just personal preference.
Yeah.
The Blackening, I think I just came away very impressed by.
Yeah. Like
its quality going in with the expectations I had. And we've always talked about that, right? Like expectations versus what something comes out. Like if you go in low and it overperforms, you kind of overrank it for that because it's like in football, out kicking coverage would be the term. Spider-Verse, I think I just have to assume it's a better movie. I actually maybe enjoyed the Barbie experience more than I enjoyed Spider-Verse.
Okay.
And we don't need to go through the whole list necessarily. We've done that a bunch of times, right? We get what's ahead of it, the typical stuff. Mission Impossible still at number 1, the GOAT. So want to move on to the other movie that came out?
Yeah.
So if you could, Dante, can you describe Oppenheimer or Woppenheimer? You can describe either one. The Gucci Mane song that came out, or the movie Oppenheimer. In 3 words: a noun, a verb, and an adjective, please.
Oh God, you're gonna have me do this again? Uh, Noun, dialogue.
That is that a noun?
Yeah,
Person, place, or a thing?
it's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Dialogue. Like I don't. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Not very descriptive, but
I mean, you watch the movie, it'll make sense. It's all dialogue.
all right. Dialogue. I hear is dialogue.
Yo, legit. Verb. Verb's a tough one, huh?
Could I give you one?
Sure.
Explosive. Is that a verb?
That's an adjective.
Is that an adjective?
Yeah.
Okay.
Explode would be the verb.
Okay. Verb to describe that movie. Oh, fucking.
There's a little bit of that,
I heard my man's a little bit of a dirty dog.
Yeah. Yo, I was like,
he
go Oppie.
He had a thing for banging married women, right? Was that his deal?
Yeah, he like stole a married woman.
All right.
He was also banging a commie.
You said a commie?
Yeah.
Jesus. He's fucking everything in that movie, huh?
Yeah, right.
I guess it's a stressful job, and you got to get it off somewhere, right? Blow off that steam.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Dialogue, fucking. And my adjective.
You can't steal explosive.
Nah, I think I'm gonna go with intriguing.
Was it the fucking that was intriguing, or the blowing up of a whole population of people?
It was kind of the build up to that, because the majority of the movie is the build up to that.
The first 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy the movie, but like, it was intriguing.
What did you think of the last hour? I haven't seen the movie, so I actually technically think I can't be spoiling something.
Okay.
Right? So I can just ask freely. To my knowledge, the first 2 hours is where you're getting the build up to the bomb and everything, and then the last hour is a lot of like the fallout from it. Correct?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It was more like the beginning of the movie, right? Like, you get the build up and then the build down, I guess, so to speak. But I like the way they did like the whole little like hearing and shit, and it was honestly interesting. One thing I will say about the movie though is like, where it's 95% just dialogue, right? The way they keep you, like, I guess, attentive in the movie is with the score.
Yeah, I heard that.
So like, there'll be points where they're talking about something and it's like it's getting to like a hyped, conversation, and you're like, oh damn, like I really want to know what they're saying, and the music's just overpowering it.
So initially, I thought you were describing that in a positive way, but it actually sounds like it was a negative.
It's kind of both, right? Like, it was a positive in the sense that like, if I was just watching, like, I think our friend gave the example, like comparing it to like 12 Angry Men, and like if it was all dialogue, like I probably would have fell asleep in that movie. But like the music kind of is like, oh shit, I got to pay attention. And you like jerk back up, and then it's like, all right, I'm listening, but now I can't hear the words.
And you saw this in IMAX?
Yeah. Which, honestly, that's another thing, too. I don't know why I had to see this in IMAX.
Because Christopher Nolan's a selfish prick. Wanted to deprive Mission Impossible to a bunch of people.
Mission Impossible should have more of a right to IMAX than Oppenheimer.
Thank you. I've been saying it for months, Dante. As has Tom Cruise has also been saying this for months.
The other thing that pissed me off, too, is I was like, what if I saw it in Dolby? Because I do prefer Dolby.
Do you think it would have? No, because I would consider us to be experts on the world of Dolby cinema at this point, right? Specifically cinema, not in your home, but like the Dolby cinemas in the movie theater.
I don't know about experts, but definitely
we're
connoisseurs.
We're experts, yeah. So as a person who has seen enough IMAX and as an expert in the field of Dolby, do you consider that, like, how do you feel is more important? Because like some people tell me they think the sound is the same in an IMAX theater. I don't agree.
No. No.
I think the sound is definitely, you feel it in the Dolby cinemas.
It's way better in Dolby.
Yeah, and like the screens, it is like kind of that proof of the concept of like the sound making the experience to me, because the huge screen is great for IMAX. Don't get me wrong. It's super impressive how big that fucking screen is. But yeah, like the sound is what immerses you into the movie more than anything.
Yeah, and I think the screen in Dolby is still really good. You know what I mean? So like,
it's a different projector style, but it doesn't have the size.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess it's like
at the end of the day, like it's still huge. Like it's bigger than anything I could have at home. So like it's still great.
Trust me, I know you got a small one at home. But size isn't everything. This is the exact instance of motion of the ocean definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. Dolby's got the motion of the ocean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the 3 words you had were dialogue, fucking, and what?
Intriguing.
Dialogue is fucking intriguing.
Wow. All right. Yeah, you can put it that way.
Got it.
They did find a way to make dialogue fucking intriguing.
Is this a movie that you will ever watch again?
I actually kind of want to watch it again.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No, I'm serious. I just think like I said, the movie's mostly dialogue, right? So in the beginning, I found myself like trailing off a little bit and not fully paying attention. I also missed the first 15 minutes of the movie in my typical fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like to watch it again, I might pick up on a lot more things or understand a lot more things better, and I might enjoy it better on a second watch. And I liked it a lot on the first watch.
You don't have a movie rankings technically right now for the year. I've said that you should have one.
Yeah.
How high up do you consider this? Is this your favorite movie of the year? Or maybe let me take it back. Is maybe favorite isn't the best wording? Is this the best movie of the year? Like, is this the best quality film you've seen this year?
Of the films I've seen this year, this is easily top 3.
What else is there?
I think I'm putting Mission Impossible and probably gonna be John Wick.
John Wick.
It's tough to compare it against those, right? Because most of what we've watched is action movies.
Mm-hmm.
So like this isn't that, so it's in a separate category, and it's kind of tough to compare it. But I mean, just as far as like how well put together of a movie it is, I think it falls up there. Yeah.
Last question is, how was the explosion?
That. How do I put this?
Describe it in 3 words: a noun, verb, and an adjective.
No, I'm gonna describe it in 2 words actually.
Okay.
Blue balls.
Oh, so there's a ton of buildup, and then there's like, and then you just kind of like,
you just don't get to get off.
You don't nut.
No, there's like 2 hours in this movie where they're just talking to me about this bomb and making this bomb and doing this crazy impressive thing. And in the back of my head, the whole time I'm like, yo, they don't use CGI for this bomb. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a huge explosion. This is gonna be nuts. And then they're all preparing. They're putting on their goggles. They're doing their countdown, and the explosion goes off. And there's no audio.
It's just, you just see it.
You just see it. It's silent.
But you had to see this in IMAX.
I had to see this in IMAX. I had to watch a silent explosion. You know how fucking aggravating that was?
So you know what I think in my head, the way I envisioned them doing it would have been, is that, right? The movie's completely silent and you see the poof of smoke go up. But I think you should have been able to, like, with spatial audio, to like feel the explosion come across you, you know?
So like, and that's where I feel like I probably like, because the explosion itself was silent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they did have audio for like the aftershock. And I feel like I probably would have enjoyed that more in Dolby.
Because it would have like rumbled.
Yeah, like I would have been in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's where I feel like, did I really need to see this in IMAX?
Yeah, I think that's it. Like,
because I felt like for them to say like, "Oh, you have to see this in IMAX," it was filmed for IMAX. I thought it would all come up to that moment. So here I am, just watching the dialogue. This is all whatever, and finally we're getting to the explosion. I'm like, this is the reason I had to see it in IMAX. This is going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get an explosion with no audio.
If I'm being honest, I appreciate the fact that like it's your a top 3 movie for you for the year, and like I appreciate that a lot of people are considering this to be like one of the best movies I've ever seen or whatever, which I generally don't really buy that shit, because like you're a victim of like the moment a little bit with that sentiment, I think. But the people who think it's the best movie of the year and it's amazingly acted and written and all that, I respect the opinion. I'll just say that the review and what I look for by it being a movie that you have to see in the movie theater, and especially a movie that's having a strong box office hold, all that stuff, to hear that it doesn't live up on like the main selling point to me, or what the main selling point would be, is this like, I have no problem with great acting and like a good storyline. I can get invested into that kind of movie. We've talked about them on here in the past. But if the thing that we're building to is, like the large explosion in the movie theater, like, and I don't get that. And it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it doesn't make me excited still. It's a movie I'm apprehensive to see as it is, that I'm not very interested in, and I'm probably interested less now.
You putting it that way makes me realize, like, the rest of the movie was that good.
Yeah.
It was that good that I was able...
It was the fucking, right?
Dude. It was that good that I was able to forgive the fact that the explosion was a letdown. I feel like, we mostly see, like, comedies, action movies, stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So very rarely do you get a movie where you really have to pay attention. I don't really want to call it that, but I can't think of another word. I want to say it's more of like an intellectual movie kind of thing. It makes you think, right? And I enjoyed that a lot.
And you have to see it twice because you're not very intellectual.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I
Fuck you.
appreciate that. I just think that, like, in a world where everything feels like it's 2.5 hours now, it's just like a 3-hour movie for intellectual shit is just not. Make that shit a miniseries, dude. Do you think that could have worked as an HBO Max like miniseries, like 6 episodes?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it feels like that's what it more was. If you don't pay off,
I didn't hate it.
But if you don't pay off with the movie theater experience, except, like, I get it, dude. You liked seeing the titties on the big screen.
And
I get
to
that.
be fair, too, right? Is like you're saying HBO miniseries, but let's look at the way we consume media nowadays. Like, we would have just watched that in one straight shot anyways. So what's the difference
That's
in doing
fine.
it in a miniseries versus a movie?
So that's fine. It's more about, like, for me, actually, I don't have to leave my house.
Fair.
I feel like I'm kind of like Hey Archer here a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't want to go to the movies because you have to go and, like, go there to the movie, and then the experience isn't any different, or, like, the movie's not worthwhile. It's just, in this instance, 3 hours is a long fucking time. And when 3 hours means I'm going to get Endgame, sign me up all day. I'll see that thing 3 times.
So,
but, like, this dialogue-heavy, intensive movie feels like it didn't, and then the one major part that could have lived up in the cinema doesn't actually happen, then it doesn't need to be a movie.
There's also, like, I've said it a couple times here where I feel like I would have preferred to watch it in Dolby, right?
Yeah.
This is specific to our cinema. The IMAX seats
suck.
I can't recline.
Yeah, they suck. I don't even recline. I just like
I always do, like, a slight recline. I just like a little lean back, but, like, I felt like I was too straight up, and, like, I felt my neck getting sore, like, halfway through the movie. Not to mention the people behind me kept kicking my chair.
Where'd you sit? Which row?
I sat on the second row behind handicap.
Okay, so, like, you could just call it the second row.
Yeah.
Because I would have known, like, that doesn't imply, like, nobody sits.
Nobody's sitting in what do they call it, the Vanguard seats?
We're not poors, dude. We're not sitting in the front row. Like, the front little section there that's down.
What was the movie we went to see where the dude willingly was sitting in the front row? Like, there's nobody up there, and he was just front and center.
Yeah, it is such a weird thing. It's like...
It was Mission Impossible, wasn't it?
No, that movie had a decent amount of people in front of us.
Yeah, you're right.
But you are right that, like, somebody definitely sat in, like, the front row. It is kind of weird that, like, when you walk into, like, the South Bay AMC theater that we walk into, it's like walking into the poverty line. It's like the handicap seats are like, yeah, you're like middle America. You have a decent income.
Oh, you're saying all the people in front of us are the scrubs?
Yeah, like, you have to walk down to your seats, dude. It's like we turn our noses up at those people. You have
Quite
to sit
literally.
down. You have to sit down there.
Who would
Gross,
do
dude.
that? Gross. Couldn't afford
Sicko.
better tickets?
Yeah.
They should sell those seats at a discount, honestly.
We, like, lord over them. See the seat clout that we have? Uh,
Oh man.
so yeah, you enjoyed this. I don't think I'm gonna see it still.
I still think you should.
I've been saying, that we have a 70 mil theater in Rhode Island.
Okay.
That I have considered. There might be, a person down there to go see a movie with or something.
Ooh, okay. I
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
So I've considered, but
Let's see if we can set that up because I said I'm down for a second watch.
okay, I'll consider it. I have some free time this week.
Word.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how hyped I am, how hyphy I am on this one.
Dude, remember I was telling you, like, I was dreading going to this movie. I shouldn't say bought because I have the membership, right? But I scheduled 3 different show times for this movie. And I kept talking myself out of it. And eventually I bit the bullet and went. Then I was very happy I went.
We just inflate movie sales. I bought 2 Barbie tickets.
Yeah. As far as AMC is concerned, they think I loved Oppenheimer. Like, I contributed to their opening weekend success. I watched it twice in their opening weekend.
All right. Can you give me like the rest of the box office? I know like we talked a little bit off camera yesterday about at least one of the other movies that, or 2 days ago maybe.
Yeah.
About at least one of the other movies that came out in the
That's
past
number
week.
3.
That is number 3. So talk to me or talk to us.
Oh, that's not the one you're talking about.
Okay, which one are you talking about?
Haunted Mansion.
Oh shit, we did talk about this too. Yeah, that movie doesn't really make sense to me. It makes sense that it bombed. Like that makes perfect sense. But the logic behind the cinema, and I would love to hear if somebody could flesh out this idea to me to make it make sense to me. But like why you would release a movie that cost $150 million, that's a horror, family
It was
horror.
$150 million budget?
Yes. So like and we joked about this the other day,
shit.
that it's like how much of it is the cast. Like the cast is pretty well known.
Bro.
And I don't like why did they think that this would be the right time? All right, like because for 4 months now, people have been like circling the Barbenheimer weekend thing, right? For the same amount of time, people knew a week prior to that Mission Impossible was coming out, and Mission Impossible, I think in retrospect, even should have considered moving to be like a November release, or maybe being like a May release opposite, like a couple weeks after John Wick or something of that nature, as opposed to dropping up against. But I think just Tom Cruise, I think I get it that he had, he has the name. He just assumes it's going to be successful to a point. But yeah, I don't really understand with Haunted Mansion when they've already gone to this well before and it wasn't overly successful to the point that you're rebooting it. But then to drop a family horror movie in the
July.
middle of July when you have a movie like Barbie that is family, you still have that Pixar movie
Elemental
in the movie theater, right?
Yep.
You also have some theaters that I'm sure are still playing Spider-Verse.
So that's actually what I was about to say looking at this top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so little that's come out that Spider-Verse is still holding at number 10.
I'm pretty sure both the theaters that we go to are still playing Spider-Verse.
Probably, yeah.
I looked at tickets today and I'm just trying to because I was considering going to see that other horror movie.
Talk to me.
Yeah, today. If it had played at 11, I would have gone and seen it today. But the showing wasn't until 1. And I was just like, it's a little too close. But that's another bit of competition there, right? Because any person who's like into scary movies, that's an older person, you're not going to draw their attention because you have an actual scary movie that's out the same weekend, So the only thing you're getting out of this is you're getting the Family Dollar who hasn't, that's not a successful franchise, but you're getting that person, the person's money who's already brought their kids over this summer to see Elemental, to see Across the Spider-Verse, to see Barbie, to see Mario. Like they've tapped out those other 4 movies and they're just going because they want to pacify their child for a couple of hours. Right? Like that's the 24 million that went and saw Haunted Mansion. Because that's where I'm kind of coming from on this one. Like I just don't understand what they thought the demand was. And I don't understand the strategic nature of putting it in July as opposed to just drop that 2 weeks out from Halloween.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it fits way better, like right around that point. Because it's very like Ghostbusters-esque to a point, right?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of these release dates just aren't making sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and for the amount of research that goes into this type of stuff and strategy that goes into it, that's why it makes so much so much less sense.
English hard.
Yeah, it's killing me today.
So let me just run down our top 10 real quick. So we got Barbenheimer at the 1 and 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Mansion at number 3. Sound of Freedom with some staying power at number 4.
The white dollar will do that.
Apparently. Mission Impossible holding strong at number 5 with 10 mil still this past weekend.
Still, I mean, it's only been out 3 weeks. That's kind of bad, isn't it?
Actually, damn. I didn't realize. Yeah, it was that recent, huh?
Yeah.
Talk to Me at number 6.
So one more thing on that. What has that made, like, for money?
10 mil.
It didn't make more than that. Is this the second week it's been on or first week?
First week. This was opening weekend.
Does it say what the budget was?
Let me pull that up. No, I don't have it on here. Give me a second.
I'm pretty sure it's already a financial success.
Really? I mean, actually, it doesn't look like a high budget movie, so that makes sense.
That's the thing with those A24 movies. They're all pretty profitable.
Yeah, $4.5 million budget, so yeah, they're already killing.
Yeah, you'll get a second one of those for sure. A24, can you just click on that production company and list off a couple of the franchises or movies that they've worked on?
Let me see. Give me a second. Box Office Mojo.
I feel like they're like the one. Is it Blumhouse does Saw? Have they done like the most recent Saw, Jigsaw? Are you a fan of the Saw franchise?
No.
Have you seen any of them?
No.
Would you?
Probably not. I don't do gore.
Is it like a fear thing? Is it afraid you're gonna like it too much?
No, it's more of like a squeamish thing.
Would you throw up?
Probably not.
Could we try to?
You want to try and make me throw up?
All right, let's workshop this for a second. We have a minute and a half.
Jesus Christ.
What if we had you? What type of food makes your stomach the most uneasy? Or what if when you have to blindfold wouldn't work, but when you have to stick your hands and stuff and try to figure out what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we did that while you watched the movie Saw?
But you can't blindfold me and have me watch the movie.
Well, that's why I said the blindfold doesn't work.
No.
But what if we have a box in front of you so you can't see what you're putting your hands into?
Okay. Kind of like the Fear Factor thing, right?
So we just try to overstimulate your squeamish sense.
Yeah, you probably get me to yak.
I'm into this idea.
This is a weird thing to be into, but all right.
Yeah, there's 9 movies too, and like we'll have to take a whole day off, and you have to watch from start to finish all 9 movies. I don't know if you could do that in a whole day. I think you can pretty easily.
Back to A24 though. I don't really know any of these movies.
Okay, what are the most recent?
X. Well, Talk to Me. X.
I knew that one. That one was like
The Iron Claw.
Ago. I don't know that.
The Deepest Breath.
Nope.
The Idol.
Nope.
Apparently they did Euphoria. I know that one.
Titties.
Lady Bird.
Yeah, I know that.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's that huge movie that won Best Picture like a year ago.
Beau is Afraid and Midsummer.
Midsummer is fucking Florence Pugh. You talked about her titties earlier. All right, so let's just move on. We have very little left here, everybody. So we won't keep you waiting or keep you here much longer. We promise. I had very little in terms of news left. I did have one thing that you needed to defend that you said, Dante.
That I need to defend?
Yeah. You remember what you were talking about about your opinion on dwarfs not being in the new Snow White movie and how you supported it?
Bro, you're going to stop trying to get me canceled. This is something I never said. I don't have an opinion on that because I didn't even fucking know that.
No, you had some foul words to say. You were calling them words we can't call them anymore.
What? I did not use the M word.
Yeah, I heard a hard jet come out of your...
Whoa. I don't think you can say that. I think you're only allowed the first letter.
Well, I said get.
All right. All right. You said jet.
Ooh. With a G, though.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little hairy there.
All right, so you're not going to stand on the ledge that you were willing to off camera.
Bro, this never happened. I'm sorry.
All right, how about you... What is your opinion on Stephen Amell's comments about the writer's strike?
What was his comment?
Do you want to pull it up just so I don't misquote it?
Stephen Amell?
Yeah.
I'm going to struggle spelling that.
Spell Stephen. And then Amell.
Thank God he was a PH Stephen in it. Oh, Ollie.
Yeah. And he today, Tuesday, August, I believe 1st, has put a statement out clarifying this initial statement, but you want to rattle it off?
Still pulling up. Sorry.
It's got to be like the first thing when you Google him right now because it's very popular.
I support my union. I do, and I stand with them. I do not support striking. I don't. I think that it is a reductive negotiating tactic, and I find the entire thing incredibly frustrating. And I think that thinking as it pertains to shows like the show that I'm on that premiered last night, I think it's myopic.
Yeah. The last part, who cares? He basically was like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I said that. But he clarifies a lot of this. But I actually texted really briefly with Steve earlier about this, and I was just saying, like, it doesn't make a ton of sense to me, other than the fact that he has a contrary belief to then what's being out there right now about the idea of striking. And to me, I took it more of like, if you watch the clip as opposed to just reading it.
I mean, even for reading it, I think he's saying like he supports what the cause is. He just doesn't think striking is the right way to do it.
Exactly. Like, why is that why is that just because somebody has a different opinion than what you have? People are saying like, this is career suicide. How the fuck is that career suicide, dude? He wants to work.
Yeah.
Like, you just have a guy who's basically saying, like, I have a show that's premiering right now. Yeah. I'd like to go out and promote it and celebrate it. I'd like to continue doing what I love in my profession, and I can't. And that, like, is that like such a controversial opinion to have? Like, I don't understand what the controversy is in that statement. Do you see anything?
No. I think people just they see what they want to see and they fixate on the wrong things.
Yeah. And it's like funny that the people are like, this is career suicide. It's like, motherfucker, none of you are actors. Like, I'll wait and like see what the opinion of other actors are to a point. I know I saw another clip of him right when the strike started, like 2 weeks ago. He was on a Comic-Con panel with David Ramsey, the gentleman who plays Dig in Arrow. And he was like, you can talk to us about me. You can talk to us about, David. You can talk to us about this or that. But he's like, you can't talk to us about Arrow. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. And he just decided he was going to talk about it anyways.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, we're just supposed to pretend like shit doesn't exist. I don't know where I fall on this whole like striking idea to a point.
Yeah.
In that, like, my personal opinion on it, right? Like, because I know watching like Hey Archer live every Thursday night at approximately 8:15 at night. Be there, be square.
Subtle plug.
Steve is on the side of like not gonna watch movies, gonna support the writer's strike, however we can to a point. But to me, it's like, I mean, I really like watching movies. Selfishly, I really like watching movies. I like that every week I get to come on and just talk about my opinion on movies, and I don't like the idea of not seeing them. Like, it's kind of but I do believe that the benefit of the strike long term is that like they're trying to maintain the sanctity of those movies by not allowing AI to replace this, that, or the other, right? To try and put more money into the pockets of the people who do this, because just like any profession, if you could be the best person at a job in the world, but if there's another job that you like less but pays better, there's a chance that you're going to leave that job that's your passion to go back to what you're doing, right? Because like, we need to exist, we need to survive. Yeah. So like, who's to say if we keep moving in the direction of AI that there's this like world breaking, the next James Cameron is out there, or something. He's not going to become a director or a writer or whatever it is because his job got replaced, essentially, So I do understand it. It's hard for me to like, I'm also in the sense of like, I'm the ignorant American who will be like, I don't see the point in voting because I don't genuinely think that my one vote like makes a difference. I don't know. It's definitely, it's a tough thing to answer. And like, I hope it resolves quickly. It just doesn't feel like it's going to resolve anytime soon. And I do feel, obviously, for a lot of those stories that are coming out right now about these huge shows that are picked up by these streaming services and aren't getting paid out residuals and are essentially getting cents per month to play these major roles or major parts in production of these.
But when you hear shit like that, like, then it's like, okay, the strike makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm also coming from a world of like MMA has been talking about this for years, right? Like MMA has been an issue for years where people like Conor McGregor will become millionaires, right? Like have a ton of money, more money than we could ever imagine. But then the other 95% of the roster is never going to see that type of pay come to them, right? And it's because there's no written in stone revenue share. That's why the NBA players can get paid so much money, right? Is because they're entitled to 50% of all money that the league makes essentially. So when like
Shit.
they sign like a huge TV deal, the players are entitled to a very large portion, the same that the teams are entitled to it, right? Because there's only 15 people on a roster or whatever it is, and like there's only like 2 to 3 stars per team max. So they're the ones selling tickets, they're the ones drawing ratings on TV, like they're the ones playing the sport, and they get paid for that, right? Whereas the UFC, because of the way things are structured, and that they have no union that will fight for it, and they'll never all be on the same page to go on strike, these issues are always going to maintain, right? And I guess like I've just become kind of numb to the idea of like maybe it is okay to just get what you're worth right now. They're dealing with this in the NFL right now with running backs. Like running backs are talking about going on strike because they could produce like a Saquon Barkley can produce like 30% of his team's offense, and a team can basically say, well, like the max years, like if we pay you that much money, there's a good chance that we're going to be paying you for time that you won't be healthy. Because the fall off of a running back's production is at like 28 years old, whereas most other production positions are into their 30s, right? Um, so like pay in some of that equity stuff is not always fair because like there are people in Hollywood, like let's not fucking kid ourselves, that are making a ton of money, right? And I would say in some ways like they've kind of earned it. But those are the same people that would say like, well, but like we need the people who are the fucking people making catering to make their money too, because without them, like that's a large, like we're not as happy on set, which leads to the product not being as good. And there's like this large trickle down effect to all of it. Oh, I can't pretend to be like super educated on it either.
It all makes sense, but at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah. And that's where it's just like who's right and who's wrong is also a gray area to me. I definitely think that the people who are making the stuff should be where a bulk of the money goes to, but like somebody had to front them the money. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I was talking about Zach Braff did an interview years back. I think it was like a Howard Stern one, talking about getting what's the movie with Natalie Portman that he did? Um Zach Braff movies, Dante. You should have been typing 30 seconds. It was very clear I wasn't putting an end to this.
I had faith in you, man.
It's like right there. Jersey Girl just keeps coming to my head, and I know that's just something I heard.
Broad City?
Ago. No, this is like one of his early movies. It's like 2005.
Garden State?
Garden State, yes. Jersey Girl, Garden State. There we go. But yeah, the whole premise that he was talking about on there was like people read that script and loved it, but they didn't really understand it in terms of a Hollywood movie because it doesn't follow the traditional like beginning, middle, and an end of how a Hollywood script should be written. So they didn't think that it would make money. So nobody would give him the money to make the movie, essentially. And when he finally finds a guy who's completely outside of Hollywood after all these like agencies have turned him down, he finds a guy who's trying to switch out of realty and get into movie production. And the guy is willing to fund the movie, essentially. And the investment that he makes, because they didn't have the money to get it made on their own, they needed an investor, right? Like he ponied up that money, and it turns into a movie that was a budget of $5 million, making $48 million. And it's like a super wise investment, and it works out really well. But like, it never becomes that it works out that well if you don't have the money guy.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you have to have maybe, I don't know, that like, is it a 50-50 split? Like, because what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like all these different
I think that's
sentiments.
A different of an analogy.
Is it
metaphor,
though?
But like,
because what comes first? Is it the great script or is it the money?
I think you can't have one without the other.
The chicken or the egg, Dante. Can't have the chicken without the egg. You can't have the egg without the chicken.
All right, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Ooh, yeah.
You want to hear that? You're right.
It does sound right?
Sure. You want to cook?
I don't know if you get it.
Nah, I get it.
I don't know if you do.
I get it. You know.
Do you know where chickens come from?
Eggs.
Oh.
Do you know where eggs come from?
I think they come from chickens.
Oh, shit. No way.
Well, so I suppose, you know what would have been a clever response to you there to really get back at me with one? Would have been like, well, you can get eggs from like other things that aren't chickens. Like turtles have eggs.
What?
Right? What are some other things that have eggs? Dinosaurs.
There's a bunch of other birds that have eggs.
What's your thought on woodpeckers?
Annoying.
Yeah, it's not really that relevant to what we're talking about, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's just a long, complicated thing. But going back to the initial point here, I just don't think that like the Stephen Amell thing is all that controversial. And I think that we just don't need to kill everybody for having different opinions than what we have. Like you can disagree with it and have a point of view, but to be like career suicide and this guy's a fucking idiot. It's like, is he though? Like
it's too much, yeah.
You know, it's like it's a little over the edge. Did you see that Mr. Beast is apparently in the Ninja Turtles movie that is coming out?
The Ninja Taters?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The Ninja Turtles movie that's coming out?
No, I didn't know that.
That's really weird, right? I read somewhere they might be Shredder.
No.
Dude, I read that.
What?
You want to double check my work?
No.
Just type in Mr. Beast Shredder.
He's
What are your feelings on Twitter just having the logo X now? Are you a fan?
That definitely threw me off. I didn't like that at all.
It's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
It just looks like it doesn't fit on my phone.
It says he has a voice cameo in the movie.
He's not Shredder, though?
Shredder wouldn't be a cameo.
No, you're right. You're right. Did you have anything else in the news? I know you said you had a topic, right?
Oh, yeah. I was looking at new releases on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought
the Jackie Chan movie, so.
Well, I thought you might actually further enjoy 65 is on Netflix.
Ugh. Did you see Braun Studios filed, I think, for bankruptcy?
Did they?
I think so, yeah.
Definitely not LeBron James. Jesus Christ, now I can't talk.
I hope I'm not making that up. I don't want to put death on anybody.
That'd be the second time we lied about Braun Studios.
Braun Studios. Yeah, July 19th, filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, the movie 65 put them out of business. Can't say I was wrong on that one, can we? I ain't been lying to all you.
Oh,
but I do think if it's on Netflix and you have a Netflix subscription, yeah, give it a shot, dude. Let's see if you enjoy it. Maybe you like it more watching it at home as to the movie theater. I don't know. But let's get into. That's all you had? Was that Braun Studio? The John Cena movie's up on Netflix. It's the most watched thing on Netflix right now. I think it's number 1 on there.
What's the John Cena movie?
The one with Jackie Chan and John Cena. We watched a trailer for it once.
Okay.
I think we did. Or maybe that was another like actor thing. I don't know. But yeah, it looks funny enough. It's like a straight to DVD movie, nothing special, but it's on Netflix. Maybe watch it. There's nothing else to watch currently.
Can we become an alien podcast?
Like in the sense that aliens are a thing now?
Yeah. Now we can be like, they do exist and we don't have to be crazy.
I still think if you saw an alien, you'd probably be considered crazy.
Yeah. No, the government told me they exist.
Yeah. Are you really buying? Like, generally, do red flags go up to you and you say to yourself, like, maybe they're trying to direct my attention from something else?
I could see that.
Right? Like, doesn't it seem all too convenient? Like, what's the point? If they had dropped the information about aliens on July 4th, it would have made sense to me.
Why July 4th?
Independence Day. If they...
And then you find out Will Smith dropping a reboot and he colluded with the government?
But, like, yeah, because, like, what does it do at the end of July? Like, a random day in July. I think that there was something else going on that day that they didn't want us, paying attention to.
Yeah.
And we just took it and ran with it. Like, oh, aliens are real. We've been waiting for him to tell this for years.
Like, I knew it. I just wanted to hear it.
But we don't know it still. They didn't show us anything.
But, like, come on, dude. I didn't actually want to go into a whole discussion about this. But
You did this. I was cool with getting ready to wrap it up.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, what is the likelihood that on this planet we're the only planet that holds any sort of life form in
I
the
agree,
universe.
Dante, but also, what are the odds that of all these other universes? And funny enough, this can be a nice segue. Next week, Dante, do you know what we're getting back to history next week. I was getting ready to do this week, but I wanted to spend a little bit more time on it. I wanted to consider watching a movie before we do the topic.
Okay.
I want to do the moon landing next week.
Ah, okay.
Okay? Because I was driving home last night, and the moon was at a very low angle.
Yep.
It was very large and visible.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn. Like,
it also had a reddish hue to it.
Yeah, I was like, I think I could jump to that.
No.
Playing too much only up.
Even then, it's not like a single leap.
But yeah, I agree with you with the sentiment that there's probably other life out there because the universe is like a mass area that like we don't understand that well. Although in theory we understand it better than we understand our own ocean. Right?
Well, yeah, people still can't agree if the world's round or flat.
It is flat. There's nothing to agree on.
Okay.
But at the same time, who's to say that like why do we assume that we're not the smartest beings in the entire cosmic universe?
Because we haven't really been here that long in the grand scheme of things.
How do you know that they've been here longer?
Because it's possible.
Okay.
Simply because it's possible.
Yeah. Great. But it's also possible they don't exist at all.
Yeah.
So,
but it's more likely
again,
to do
this is kind of just proving my point of like they just said something on the news. They didn't like we didn't see anything.
No.
Nothing with our own eyes. They're not even like giving us anything. Like if you have an alien like they're claiming to, they have non-human life that they have found. They said, right?
Yeah.
Show me a fucking picture. Show me a picture. And who's to say that's not a ghost? It's just non-human. Could have been a ghost.
Yeah, they captured a ghost. They're like, oh, you can't see it, but it's here.
But yeah, I just don't know how much it doesn't get me all that excited until there's like, I'll probably panic when they actually show me an alien, but I'm not going to even put too much thought into the fact if it's like they're just saying that there's aliens there because it's still just the same potential idea until it's factual and shown to me and they can actually show. Why can't they show us?
I'm assuming NDAs, whatnot.
But like how does it not break the NDA to come out and be like, it's a real thing versus to show us a fucking picture?
I don't know.
Maybe it just looks like some dude, Ted, who like we've walked by on the street and they're like, we don't want to panic people. That they just look like us. Yeah.
It's like the roach guy from Men in Black.
Yeah. Like they're just people. It's like, fuck. Like anybody could be an alien.
Oh,
we just like that's the other thing. We just assume that they're like little green men or like, disfigured, like violent beings from another like planet. What if they just look like us?
It's all possible.
Mm-hmm. All right, back on track. Let's get into what we have coming out this week and what we've been watching, if anything. I definitely have some stuff. Do you have any things that you've been watching?
Well, as we talked about, I watched Barbie and Oppenheimer. I also watched The Outlaws.
Okay, you did watch that on Netflix.
Yeah.
You have a Netflix subscription?
Briefly. I was at my mother's house.
Okay. What'd you think of The Outlaws?
I liked it.
It's pretty good, right? It wasn't like amazing, but it was funny enough.
No, I mean, but it was good for like a straight to streaming movie, and it gave me a good few laughs.
Yeah. I still, you didn't watch Workaholics, right?
No.
Because I think that's the only thing that's tough is like separating the lead character, Adam, the lead actor in that, Adam, from like his character in Workaholics to, his character in movies, because there is just like there's a lot of similarities. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. I liked it.
Anything else?
No, that was it. I guess I did catch like the first 20 minutes of the Twisted Metal series that dropped on Peacock.
All right, so we're about the same amount in then, because I think I'm about halfway as well.
Dude, I think I'm already set up to love it.
You enjoyed it?
I've said it before, like I don't get enough like car themed movies or stuff like that. So like where it just starts out with the whole chase scene and everything, I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah, and it's like pretty gory, which is fun. I like that the whole season's up, as opposed to like one episode a week. Yeah. Right? I like that. I also enjoyed like have you ever seen Baby Driver?
Yes.
So like the feel of like him like with the soundtracks that he's playing while he's driving around with everything. I kind of like that. Like
like get in the zone.
Yeah, like Anthony Mackie like is playing like these like early 2000s CD mixes.
Yeah.
Like throughout the first episode. I think that's fun. I do think the idea of his job is kind of interesting too. Because I was wondering how you make Twisted Metal work, you know, in the premise of a movie or a TV show. And have it not just be like that movie Death Race with Jason Statham.
No, they laid it out, at least for now, from what I've seen from the first 20 minutes of it. I think they laid it out to have a pretty decent plot.
Yeah, I look forward to them adding in, like when we get to see like the characters that we recognize more.
I just want to see Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, look, we'll get there. I look forward to that. So you're gonna keep watching that. I definitely will continue watching it. I just I was watching it, was going to bed one night, and I just turned it off because I didn't want to fall asleep during it. I wanted to actually like watch it. But I had told you, Dante, I actually borrowed your Stars password because I finished season 1 of Heels in the past week, and I really, 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 really like that show. It's something that I've been meaning to watch for a while, both for like the reasons of I obviously like Stephen Amell. I really like Arrow, but I also am a huge wrestling fan, so it kind of touches both bases for me. It's something that I think for the wrestling fan, especially, it's a must watch. Like it's a really dramatic, fun look into the world, but I also just think from a fan of like if you just like dramatic-esque serious TV shows. It's really good too, and it has some comedic moments. It has a good heart, and I think it really humanizes the life of like, you know, wrestling's a larger than life sport. And when you watch like the WWE product from an outside perspective, I think, you know, you see stadiums, you assume people have money. It's kind of like watching people in movies, right? Like you just assume that they're like they're all super successful or at least more successful than the normal average Joe would be.
Yeah.
And I think what that show does a really good job of showing is like the dark side of wrestling a little bit, in that like there's a bigger population of people who wrestle for no money or very little money and have full-time jobs and like are just doing this because they love it, and they're trying to be found to maybe one day be that small percentage that does make it to that stage. But it's kind of like the NBA, or like I would say even more like baseball to a point, because like minor league baseball, like, are you familiar with the Cape League at all, Dante?
No.
So the Cape League is like independent league baseball. It's for either younger players that are like getting ready to go into like the actual minor leagues, or players that weren't able to get into the minors but are still trying to get noticed, right? So like some of the best competition that's not signed to a team goes and plays in like the Cape League or something. There's way more leagues that are independent baseball in the country than you would ever imagine, that are people who don't get paid basically money to just play their entire summer and have very little free time because they're committed to this dream, but they're not making the money yet. And I just think that like Heels does a really good job of that. It does a really good job of depicting like the politics that goes into wrestling, and the politics that goes into being, you know, the top name, or keeping yourself the top name, or the people who are the crabs in a barrel trying to become that name. Like it just covers all of those bases really well. So I really enjoyed it. It's a short first season too.
It sounds familiar. Like I might have seen like part of it.
Maybe. I mean, you have a Stars membership, and it's been
Is this like older? Like it came out like a couple years back?
Yeah. There was a pretty big gap, I believe, between seasons. Because this is only season 2, but I think it was probably like a year and a half ago that season 1 came out. Do you know how to spell Heels?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just double checking.
2021. So yeah, I might have seen like the first episode kind of thing. I've told you before, like I really only use my Star subscription for the Power Book series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after like one of the season finales, like it just auto plays to another show, and I think it auto played to like the first episode of Heels.
Yeah, I think I want to watch the show Minx too on there.
Yeah.
That's Jake Johnson from New Girl. He has a show on there.
Jake Johnson. Which character is he in New Girl?
It's Nick.
Ooh. Okay.
And I think it's about Playboy, maybe.
Huh.
It's about something with the porn industry, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
But I've heard that's really, really good too. So yeah, but either way, Heels. For anybody who hasn't watched it, especially if you're a wrestling fan, I 100% recommend it. I do think it would create. If you're not a wrestling fan, I think you'd find it interesting as well, though, just because it's like the characters I think are pretty complex. They're you don't necessarily, not everybody's a heel or a baby face, so to speak. Like there's like shades of gray in there with the characters too. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like Dante said, I'm watching Twisted Metal a little bit. And this week we have TMNT coming out, as well as what I'm really excited for. I just rewatched the Meg 1 As I've talked about on here many a time, big shark movie, crocodile, alligator movie guy, basically anything with obnoxiously large animals that are trying to kill people, I will get into and I really like. So the Meg 2 comes out on Thursday, so I'm pretty amped up about that. That one came out of nowhere a little bit. I think the trailer looks kind of bad, but it's my style of movie, so I'm excited.
Word.
Cool. I think we hit it all. We've gone way longer for a week where we had not a ton to talk about than we ever would have anticipated it. But we appreciate you guys for being here, sticking around. Dante mentioned it a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. Make sure to give us a review if you're listening on the audio side of the world, like on our on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the whole nine, under somebody's nuts or some shit. We greatly appreciate you for being here. If you made it this long, especially, thank you so much. If you're on YouTube, again, thank you. If you could leave a drop a comment, drop a like, hit us with a share, tell a friend, ask a friend, do charity if you must. We're on TikTok at Good Taste Pod, on Twitter at Good Taste Live, on Instagram at For Those With Good Taste. And Dante, they can find you where?
Dirty Water ENT on YouTube, Dirty Water _ENT on Twitch and Instagram. I think I got that backwards again, but it'll be up there. So check me out.
Okay. And for the last minute of this podcast, Dante, I'm going to need you to put behind me a saloon, maybe.
Saloon.
I'd like to be in the Old West.
Okay.
And
if I can't find a saloon, can we settle for an outhouse?
Only if behind me I have a dust ball kicking behind me. All right, and just one more time. All right, we're out. Love you. Peace.
For those with good taste.